5:30. Very good evening, everyone. The session is supposed to start at 4:30, but we just reached home nearly like at 4:15, and also that's why we started at 5:30. Fine then. In next 1.5 hour, 2 hours, we'll be just completing the last topic, which is JMS, which is Java Messaging Service. Now, at the end of the session, the session is supposed to start at 4:30. Right. At the end of the session, what I'm just going to do is like, I'm just going to revise all the tasks once again, and I'll be giving you one sample project where let us all validate every test case by using JUnit. I'll do one thing like after the end of this JMS topic, I'll be sharing one what we call a tiny URL. I'll be displaying in my notepad because I can't share through groups and all. It'll take a lot of time. So I'll be just updating my YouTube description as well as I'll be sharing that link to you. So I'll give a 10 minutes time. Please download that zip file, which is a college's project, and we will just do one task, and what exactly the RedHat exam will be, we can get to know. Fine then. I think we can start the session. It is 5:31. Let's start. Let me share my screen. Right then. Let's start. You already know in the EX183 exam, there will be two projects. The first project contains total 5 tasks. The first one is bean validation, and the second one is security. We call it as JAS. JAS is nothing but Java API for authentication and authorization service. Authentication and authorization service. And the third one is which is REST API task. We call it as JAX-RS. JAX-RS is nothing but Java API or Java X API, Java X API, Java or Java X API for RESTful web services. And the fourth task is we are going to have persistence mapping. Persistence mapping. We simply call it as JPA mapping also, Java Persistence API. And the fifth task is JPQL, which is nothing but Java Persistence Query Language. These are the 5 tasks we are going to have. And one more point is something like a note point. Fourth task and fifth task. Fourth task and fifth task are interlinked. That means in the exam, even though you complete 5 tasks, you will be in the first project, you're going to have only 4 test cases only. I repeat once again, 4 test cases. First test case is for validation test.java. Second test case is something like security test.java. Third one is REST API, something REST.java, REST services.java accordingly. We can't just by heart the names and all. And the fourth one and fifth one will be JPA testing Java. That JPA consists of 2 subtasks. One is for mapping and second one is query language. So first we need to do mapping. I think mapping and concept, I think not yet done. I think in tomorrow's offline class, your faculty will cover that. Okay, fine. And then project 2 contains the first one is JMS task. And the next one is qualifier task. And the last one is context and dependency injection. Context dependency injection, which is CDI. So CDI topic is already done in the last day's class, it seems. I think as per the schedule, when I see it is done. So JMS. My best suggestion is like, as 300 is the max mark for RedHat EX183, 210 is the pass mark. So you guys can complete, if you complete the first project, all the test cases, all the test cases, then you can clear the exam. Okay. Then you can still want to do, then you can go to project 2, but ensure that make sure your project doesn't contain any errors and all. Every time when you add any annotation or any code and all, ensure that you run the test cases. There are a lot of people, like a few people, in the last batch, which we just observed is they are only just adding the annotations and they are leaving the system, and they are coming out of the lab, but they are not. They just forgot the what we call running the test cases. Don't think that just keeping some annotations that your task will be done. You need to run the test case. If you're going to get a green mark only, I'll be showing you. I'll be showing you a live example at the end of this what we call JMS task. That's all for the introduction. So 5 tasks and 3 tasks in the project 2. Right then. Let me just put a side heading called as JMS. Let me start my task JMS, Java messaging service. Right. You guys no need to do any kind of recording and all separately. After this live, you can just access this live again. So the live will be a recording. So you can concentrate on the topic and the what we call on the demonstration. I'll wait for 2 minutes. We'll start the JMS. Right. JMS. The JMS, the name itself saying that it's a messaging service. Generally, when you want to send any messages, you just need to have two parties. One party is client and second party is server. And normal thing is something like communication between sender and receiver. So sender can send the messages to the receiver and receiver acknowledge it. And like this process called as Java messaging service. So JMS is one of the best API we have. We can implement the chart applications in 2 ways we can implement. So let us all talk about this. It is used to implement messaging services. So what is messaging service, sir? Uh, establishing communication between establishing communication between right. Establishing communication between sender and receiver is called as messaging service. Sender and receiver. And I just want to highlight one point that generally there are two types of communications. Two types of communications. The first one is generally there are two types of communications. The first one is let's talk about the first one. The first one is synchronous, 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 and second one is asynchronous. So sorry if I type any spelling mistakes. Right. Synchronous and asynchronous. So what is synchronous and all? For example, there is a sender who is going to send the message, some message to server. I mean, server means here receiver. You know something, synchronous application is something like, for example, if the same sender, so this is the first message he sent. Sender can send second message only after receiving the acknowledgement, only after receiving the acknowledgement from the receiver for first message. That means it's just something like kind of serial transactions. It's just a kind of serial process. For example, I can say one after the other. Operations will be done one after the other. It's a time taken process, guys. For example, as a sender, I just want to send 100 messages at a time. But if first message I send, I'm not sure whether the second message is sent or not. You know, if you just see the WhatsApp communication service, even though I mean, if you need internet, you need internet to send the messages, but the receiver don't require any kind of internet. I mean, while you sending the message, but when receiver want to see the message, he need internet for, of course. But my point is like, whenever you send any message using your internet, maybe mobile data or Wi-Fi and all, your message will be sent to a specific contact called as receiver, and receiver may or may not having internet. If he got the internet, the message will be delivered, followed by seeing the message. If we not having any kind of internet connection, that it will be a one tick mark. That means that message will be sent to communication, the medium between sender and receiver. And then two tick marks is something like server to a receiver. Finally, blue tick mark is nothing but the message is seen. But I just want to send a second message. Think that if the first message is not received, still I want to send a second message. That means I can't wait for the acknowledgement from the receiver, right? Whether it is two tick marks or not, right? So even though there are two tick marks are not there, even it is just delivered, I can send a second message. So sending messages one after the other is called as synchronous. Sending messages, multiple messages, even without bothering about the acknowledgement from the receiver at a time or parallel is called as asynchronous. I repeat once again, asynchronous. So what is asynchronous? Sender can send multiple messages at a time, even without even without even acknowledgement from the receiver. Perfect. So I can say this is a parallel process. That means at a time. So simple logic. With these two definitions, I can just conclude that asynchronous communication is very important. That's why. So now let me just add this point. Establish asynchronous communication. All the chat applications, whether it is any kind of chat application, chat GPT, WhatsApp, Instagram, whatever it is the application. I mean, I'm not telling that those platforms are using JMS. For example purpose, I'm just considering those platforms. So asynchronous communication is something like you no need to bother about the acknowledgement from the receiver for every message. You can just send whatever the number of messages you want to send, even without bother about the acknowledgement. So finally, JMS is nothing but is used to implement messaging service, that is communication between, asynchronous communication between sender and the receiver. And the next point. So let us all talk about some important points in the what we call in the JMS. So there are two types of messaging services in JMS we have. So there will be a possible of two tasks in the JMS. Let us all talk about two tasks. So two types of services. The first one is point to point messaging, and the second one is publish, subscribe message. So as of now, what I discussed is something like we started some intro about the exam. In first project, there will be 5 tasks. 2 tasks will be interlinked. So people will say it as 4 tasks only. Second project contains 3 tasks. So now I started with my JMS task in project 2. Right. JMS is nothing but one of the API to establish communication between sender and receiver. There are 2 types of communications. First one is asynchronous, second one is synchronous. Asynchronous is something like sender can send multiple messages at a time. Synchronous is something like sender can only send one message at a time, and he can only send second message only after receiving the acknowledgement from the previous message, for the previous message. There are two types of messaging services. The first one is point to point, and second one is publish and subscribe. Point to point is something like uh, point to point will be something like, it is also called as one-to-one communication. That means we are going to use queue. We are going to use queue. Point to point means, for example, one sender, one receiver will be there. For example, one sender, he will send the messages to the receiver, again second one. And all the messages will be saved in a separate data structure called as, I can say, a data structure kind of, or data source kind of thing. That source is queue. That queue contains, we have a concept called as waiting queue. So before sending before executing all the processes by the CPU, there will be a set of process will be saved in the waiting queue. Okay, like that. Point to point communication is also called as one-to-one communication. One sender and one receiver will be there, and the other point is something like, it is going to use queue actually. And publish and subscribe. Publish and subscribe is something like, we are just going to, it is just something like broadcast communication. Broadcast communication are also called as one-to-many communication. So what is one-to-many? Queue is nothing but one-to-one, one sender, one receiver. I mean, not one sender, one messages at a time. One-to-many is something like, let me just take example of YouTube. This is the best example of YouTube. YouTube, for example, I just created a channel called as, for example, JFST, like EP, a topic called as EP. So consider it as a channel. So whoever is going to subscribe to this channel, so we'll get all the notifications. That means whenever I just send any message to this topic, so who is going to receive all these messages? Those who are subscribed to this topic, right? Simple logic. So one to many. One is something like who is going to create the message. Okay. Many is something like who is going to receive all the messages from the sender, whoever subscribed to that topic, right? So simple logic is, we are just going to use queue in the point-to-point communication, and we are going to use topic. I repeat once again, topic in the publish and subscribe message. So let me repeat again. There are two types of messaging services. One is point-to-point. Second one is publish, subscribe. In point-to-point, one-to-one communication. In publish, subscribe, broadcast communication, which is one-to-many. Now, there are different kinds of key components we have in the JMS. So let's focus on this. What are the key components we have in JMS? Key components in JMS. The first component is producer. Producer. What is producer, sir? Here, producer is sends messages to destination. So destination will be either queue will be there, or you can use topic will be there. Okay. So eventually destination is something like, either that message is going to send to queue or topic. From that, it will going to received by the receiver. And I can say this is also called as sender. Producer is also called as sender, who is going to send the messages. He's the one who is going to create the message also. Okay. And the second one is consumer. Consumer is nothing but he is going to receive messages from the destination. So this queue and topic are the mediators. So in between sender and receiver, this queue and topic will be there. Okay. So directly we can't send messages. Queue will take, from that it will go to receiver. Like that, from the receiver, queue will take and it will go to sender, because it's just something like one-to-one communication. It's not something like it's only one-way communication. It's a two-way communication. I'll send the message and I'll get the reply also. So receives the messages from the destination. So that destination is called as either queue or topic. And one more point is something like I already told this consumer is called as a receiver. And third one, which is queue, I already discussed. Queue is nothing but this queue will be used for point to point, used in point to point communication or messaging, and messages are delivered to only one consumer, ensuring one-to-one communication. Okay, all right. So even though other messages are already there, it will ensure that it will go to one consumer only, and then later multiple consumer. Consumer is nothing but receiver. And fourth one is topic. So what is topic? Topic is nothing but used in publish, subscribe messaging. And the second point is like messages will be broadcasted. Broadcasted means broadcasting is something like one person will talk and many people will listen, right? So one to many. Broadcasted to multiple consumers, ensuring which communication? One to many communication. And there are other topics also, something like session connection and all, not required for the topic. So one important point is like message. There is a one key component is called as message. Or what is message? The actual data. The actual data, generally the actual data will be a text, we call it as data being transferred, actual data being transferred. So for example, sender want to send a message called as hello world, for example, that hello world is called as what? Message. So there are many types of messages. We have interface, we have types like text message, we have for example string, and if you want to send object like JSON, we have and if you want to send map object, you can have map message, and if you want to send bytes data, you can send bytes message, and if you want to use stream API, you can use stream data, right? For that purpose, we can use stream message also. So generally, text message is important. Okay, important text message. Generally, string format is like text form. And the sixth one, the last one of the key component, message listener. Message listener. Message listener. So what is message listener? So it receives, listener is something like it is going to listen all the messages from some source. So it receives messages automatically when they arrive at destination. Perfect. So these are the six key. There are other components like connection factory and all, but not needed. These six are important: producer, sender, consumer, receiver. Queue is nothing but a point-to-point communication, and it will be used for the one-to-one communication. One sender and one receiver, or one consumer and one producer. The fourth one is topic, one to many, which is publish and subscribe messaging. Whoever is going to subscribe to that topic, when I just send a message as a sender, those who subscribe to that topic will receive the message. And message is something like it's a data. The data may be string, which is text message or object message or map message or bytes message or stream message. Message listener. It receives all the messages automatically whenever it is going to arrive at the destination. Perfect then. So what exactly we are going to see now? So let me just write the JMS task. Okay. And before that, I want you to open this AD183 document. The AD183 document. Page number 335. So page number 335. Please open 335. And meanwhile, please open your Coded Studio also. Let me open Coded Studio and I'll wait for 3 minutes. I want you to open this AD183 document. I hope you already have this. Creating MDBs. You can have chapter 8, creating MDBs. So please open this and open your Coded Studio also. Right. I'll wait for 2 minutes and then I'll start my task. How you're going to do this and all. First, let me write the task in the notepad, then I'll start. Okay. I'm not directly going to create any files and all. Okay. One more point, I think if you have your JMS related projects, please do this task in the JMS task. I mean, because the dependencies will be. So for this task, you need to have a dependency called as this one. If you type JMS, let's do that. MVN repository. JBoss, JMS. The version number is 1.1. So please go to second one. Okay. 1.1, 1.0.1 final. So this one. You add this to your existing project and make sure you just update the Maven project. That's enough. Remaining annotations for the, remaining dependencies for the remaining task. Okay. Those who are not ready with the project at this moment, I recommend them to open any existing projects that you're practicing for the exam and add this, what we call dependency. I've already shown you. You can just go back to the previous step in the live itself and please type that and copy that. Add into Pomod XML, right click on this, go to Maven, update project, force update. Some people will think that force update is not needed, but I'll be very focusing on this note force update because sometimes the MBN repository continuously it is updating the versions. If you see MySQL, like it will be previously it is 6, 7, now 8, 9 and all. So sometimes if you directly update the Maven project, sometimes the dependencies will not be downloaded from the MBN repository properly. In that case, if you just force update, so sometimes not every time, sometimes we need some force updates to download all the versions, everything and all forcefully. So that's why I recommend you to go for force update generally. Okay. I'll just write the task here and then I will start the AD183 document, page number 35. Perfect. I'll write the task here. The task name is. In today's class, my package will be com.klf.exam. Okay. Don't confuse. Let's start the task. enable com.klf.exam. Is it exam? Okay. Enable com.klf.exam dot services dot demo bean as a consumer of messages. Receive messages from the Java / JMS / Q / demo Q point to point Q. There are two types, point to point and publish subscribe. As point to point Q as javax dot jms dot Q. When a message is received, it should be passed to the method called as process for handling. Okay. So this is the task. He just want us to execute, he just want to enable JMS in the class called as demo bean. Demo bean is a class which is already given. Okay. And he want us to take, you just want to implement point to point with two things. He mentioned this one and he mentioned this one. We'll see what exactly these two. And then other one is he want us to pass the message to a method called as process method. Find them. Find them. So before going to start about this, I just want to highlight 2 points. Then I'll go to my task. Destination lookup. Destination lookup is nothing but it specifies the JNDI. JNDI is nothing but Java naming directory interface. You already know in your EP and all, you guys have created MySQL, DS, everything and all same. Same like that for JMS also. You have a data source called as, JNDA called as Java /JMS. Okay, Java naming directory. What is Java naming directory interface? It is a name. Instead of writing the code, just by using that name, we can connect to that resource. Okay. For JNDA name, for looking up the destination, what is destination? Either Q or topic. Today's our code is on Q. Okay. Q or topic that the message driven bean listens to. So it is specified. Destination lookup is something like we are going to specify the JNDA name for the destination, either Q or topic. Next one is destination type. Destination type. What is destination type? It defines the type of the destination. The type of the destination. What is the type of destination? Either Q or topic. So let us all start this. I'm repeating again. We are going to have a existing class called as demo bin, which will be there already in the project. So we have to go to that package and then go to that class demo bin, and we need to apply. We need to convert that file into a message driven by using Q concept. Q means point to point communication. Okay. So I'm just going to start this in my. So I'm just going to create demo bin, which is a class which is already there. So this is already given. So the first point is demo bin already given. Okay. Already given means, sir, what type of code it is going to have. So let me just write a normal code, or existing code, which will be already having in this file in the exam. Okay. So there will be a class which already there. So what are the things we are going to have in this? There will be a method called as process method, which will be there already. Message, try catch block, try catch of exception E, throw some illegal state exception of it, right? So this code is already there. Okay. I'm just only typing. After that, I'll be waiting for some time so that you also be ready with this code in your project. Final. I already told messages are different types. The messages are different type: text message, object message, map message. So important point is like text message. So let's take text message. Final text message. Okay. Text message is equal to message. So this message will be here, and we need to convert into, we need to cast it like this. And final string st is equal to text message dot get text. Okay. So let's just do one thing. Fine. Apart from that, think that there is some other code will be here. Okay. So this is the file which is already given. This is a file. So there is a process method which is already given, and the class name. I'll be waiting for 3-4 minutes, and then again I'll restart. This file is already given in the exam. So I'm just typing you in front of you, but actually I can directly give you, but there is no source to give. That's why I'm typing in the class. I'm not typing the entire thing. I'm just only typing the main part of the code. I'll be waiting for 2 to 3 minutes. Even if you get errors, you just type in the Code Studio only. Don't type in the notepad. Okay. Type in the Code Studio, because you just need to know which annotation and which package we are going to getting imported. Right. Right. Now let us all continue the task. Let us all now the task. Now let us all read the task. Enable com.klf.exam.service has been as a consumer of messages. So for that purpose, we need to take annotation called as message driven. Okay. So whenever you take message driven like this, after that, receive messages from this and the point to point queue is like this. When a message is received, it should be passed to the method called as processor. So let us all complete this part. How to do this? Okay. How to do? Name is equal to. We just need to put one name for the message driven bean. Okay. Sir, are they going to give any name and all? My simple suggestion is like whatever the class name will be there, that will be the name. So copy paste this, comma. Let's see the next one. Active config. Active config is nothing but it's a attribute name, which is an array of activation config property. Okay. So take this. And now here, we just need to take array, which is curly brace, which contains the first one as at the rate activation, one second, activation config property, right? Put a arrow mark on this annotation, add missing attributes. So we got property name and property value. Let me repeat again. I'm removing this part. Activation config, curly brace, because array of values we need to give. First one is activation config. Why we are using this? To mention the destination lookup and destination type. How you got to, how I just got to know, because I'll show you. Here I got name. So query listener, they're taking the query listener, active config. First one is activation config, which is the destination lookup. And the next one is destination type. Fine then. Let's go ahead and add missing attributes. So we are done with the first part. Now the next one is, you just observe where exactly comma is there before close braces. So here, comma, again at the rate configuration property. Okay. I'll do one thing. Right. Again at the rate configuration, add missing attributes. We are done. I repeat again. I think it is too weird. Let's just go to light on. I repeat once again. I've already typed this a second time. Activation config is my attribute name, which contains at the rate activation config property. So two properties. First one, second one. And now let us all start. First one, we need to write destination lookup. That is the property name. Destination lookup. Don't even misspell this. Okay, destination lookup. Second one is destination type. So what is the destination lookup? The destination name. I mean the lookup JNDI, Java naming service. What is destination type? Either queue or topic. What exactly we are using in queue? So let us all mention the property name as destination name type. And now in the destination lookup, we'll write the destination lookup. So whatever the Java colon slash, whenever you see slash, which is a JNDI example, you already completed in your EP, which is a MySQL DS, you mention like this. So this is a JNDI. So this is the lookup and please copy that from the task directly. Don't even try to type. Control B. And the type of the destination is Q. Copy that and paste here. Okay, done. What exactly they've asked to do? They want us to do enable this demo bean as a consumer of messages. So I've taken @message driven. And the second one is whenever a message is received, it should be passed to the method called as process. Okay, the first part is done. This first part is done. So, sir, after doing this task, what exactly they give and what exactly we have to do? They give this class, I already told. Okay, the class with some code. You just need to add address message driven of name is equal to the class name directly, comma, activation config, everything. You just check the previous part again. And this one you have to type. They'll not mention whether it is lookup or type and all. They'll mention destination space lookup. Okay, but you just need to remember the property name. L should be capital, and destination type T should be capital, and mention the property value from the code, and mention the property value of the destination type also from the code. With this, we have done 50% of the JMS task only. Still, we need to do something. Let's wait. I'll wait for 5 minutes, guys. Right. Continuation. Whenever message is received, it should be passed to the method called as process for handling. Okay. So what you need to do? I already told you one point that one of the key components in the JMS is message listener. Message listener is used to receive the messages automatically whenever arrive at the destination. So with this, by using message listener only, we can be accessible. We can do this kind of receiving and the sending and all. So we just need to implements. I repeat once again, implements. You can just check the same in the here also implements message listener. So this implements message listener, you need to add. Guys, I'm just telling you again, I just waited for 5 minutes after be ready with my demo bin. Then I started my task. Whatever the task I started, from that onwards, the actual task. Okay. The actual task. The actual task. So message listener, right? Message listener. Whenever you just implement any interface, so let us all read what message listener is. So whenever you just implement this message listener, okay, let me just take like 1 second. Let me just type again. Message listener. You just put arrow mark on the demo bin and click on add unimplemented methods. Whenever you just click on add unimplemented methods, right, method, one of the message called as on message will be imported. On message. Okay. This on message is going to send the message using a process method. Right. So what I've done so far, we have completed message driven annotation. That is the first part. And second part is when a message is received, it should be passed to the method called as process. Fine then. So how to do that? In the onMessage method, you guys need to, so generally one important point is something like you need to call the process method in the onMessage. This is nothing but what? When a message is received, so when this is message will be received using the onMessage, you should call process method. So process method is already there. They've already given. Right? Process method. So whatever the argument is there here, it will be getting here. For example, in the exams, M will be there. Ensure that process of M. Okay. In the exam, for example, MSG is there. Ensure that MSG is there. So on message of message, this will be automatically created, right? When you click on unimplemented. So what exactly we got previously ARG of 0. Perfect. Then. Perfect. As per the task, it is done. So they just clearly mentioned that the task is receive a message from, so enable the so-and-so bean as a consumer of message. So that's why message driven. Receives the messages from this by using, this is the lookup and this is called as type. We have done with the, what we call the annotations, everything and all. It's array actually. Array contains first index contains lookup and the second one is called as destination type. And third one is when a message is received, it should be passed to the method called as process for handling. Okay. So the process is already there. I repeat once again, this will be already there. Already there. And use this one. You just need to type message listener and the on message will be generated and call the process method. So fine. Right. This is the JMS task. This is the JMS task. Right. I repeat again. So with this, we have done with the JMS task, the exact task. JMS is something like Java messaging service. There are two types of communication, synchronous, asynchronous. We are using asynchronous. That is multiple messages at a time. There are two types of Java messaging services. One is point to point. Second one is publisher subscribe. So you just only concentrate on point to point, queue. Queue task only you consider, not topic. Okay. Not topic. So this is a queue. So what they give? They will give this file directly, but they'll not give this implements message listener and all. Automatically you have to write. You need to mention the bean name. This attribute name, property name you need to remember. They will give this second property name you need to remember. They will give the queue. This is always same javax.jms.queue. This is the destination type, queue or topic. And we need to call the process method, right? I'll be waiting for 5 minutes and you can just go to previous step if you want. What I'm just going to do is like, I'm just going to uh, upload one project. Right. I want everyone to use this bit URL. I'll check whether it is accessible or not in the incognito mode without any login. Yes, it's working, guys. Uh, Please download this and download this file. I'll be waiting at till 6:40. This is very important task. I'm just going to show you the exact environment of Red Hat. Red Hat, your Red Hat exam. Will continue from 6:40. So what you're supposed to do, you need to, so sorry, I'm just uh, uh, changing the tabs and all. Just 1 minute. I just want to highlight one point. Please download this RAR file and this PDF file. Okay. Last 4 minutes, guys. Let's start 641. Let me close all the tabs and all so that let me just double click on this project. So when you just double click on the project, okay, fine then. So let me just extract this project. Some people will use, you have a zip extractor kind of files. I'm just using extract here option, extract here, extract here. So we just extracted successfully and then file, import. In the Red Hat exam also, you have to import the projects like this. So you'll get to know how you're going to import. Some people will exist projects into workspace, but my suggestion is like you just go to Marvin, existing Marvin projects. Next, browse, go to desktop, colleges, double click on the colleges, ensure that SRC folder is visible. Until that, you just double click multiple times. Select folder. Right, it is just got captured. So now click on finish. Now click on finish. Now the project getting imported. Now let's just wait until it is got imported. It's just validating now. It is showing some error mark. We'll see where it is, where that exactly error showing. In the entities student.java, there is an error called as XML transient. Okay, please comment that. Okay, there is no need to take care of that. Please comment that. All right. Now let me refresh this. We need to comment the package also. So let's remove this. Now all the errors gone. Okay. Refresh. For example, while you're doing your exam task in the EX183 exam, if anyone getting any error and all, the problem will be like the var file will not be generated. I think in the first class, I observed the online class, the faculty told that server will be already there. You just need to right click on this and start, just start. So my first and foremost thing is like open the Code Studio, start the server, which is already there in the IDE, go to file, import projects individually. After import the project, import only, start the server. Don't start the server. Just opening the IDE. Now let us all read the task. Read the task. Validation. You are need to implement the following data validations on the com.redhat.colleges.ndt packages to ensure that data consistency and automatic input checking is part of the college's project. Thank you. Note. These validations must be performed with bean validation annotations. Do not alter the setters. Thank you. Implement the bean validations as specified below. The first one, course.object2 can't be longer than 120 characters. Okay. So let us all go to course. And let us all go to objective. The best part of EX183 exam is wherever you're going to write the annotation, any annotation, before that, the task will be there. If the annotation is related to class level, before the class, the task will be given in the comments. Okay. Like this, if you see in the comments, they give already like this, but they'll not give the annotation. You need to write. So what they exactly asked? They exactly asked the course object can't be no longer than 120 characters. You already know the simple step is at the rate size we need to use. Java x.validations.constraints is the annotation we have to use. And there are no errors, but the problem is like they mentioned the can't longer than 120. So it should not exceed 120 characters. Let us all check the attributes. I think it is max. There is no they didn't mention about minimum value, so don't Red Hat one important point is like what they ask only you just need to do. Don't do any extra things. max is equal to 120. So done with this 120. The first task is done. And the next one, faculty dot ratio must have one decimal digits. Must have one decimal digits and two decimal digits. Example, one colon. So before dot one and the regular expression is something. So they already given regular expression. Okay. Faculty dot ratio. Just go to faculty dot ratio. Okay. Whenever you just want to use, and I mean, they just want you to accept. Uh, they just want you to accept one digit before dot and two digits after the dot. Okay. So use pattern. Use pattern. And for the pattern, there is an attribute called as regex expression, regular expression. And whatever they give directly, you just copy. Don't even try to type it. Otherwise, even if you miss one single character also, your test case will be failed. So control V. 1 second. So let's copy this. Control. I think like this, you'll get the extra things. Okay. So right. But in the exam, you'll not be facing this kind of issue. Okay. Yeah. The problem will be when you copy paste and all, slash in will be double slash will be getting automatically, right? I think let's all try with the double quotes. I think we'll see what exactly going to happen. Okay, it is perfect. When you please copy with the double quotes. Second task already done, also done. The value of course dot registration on must be null. Sorry, must not be null. Must not be null. So go to course registered on. Registered on. It should not be null. It should not be null in the sense not null. Perfect. Three task is done. Three tasks done. If you got any, if you stuck with any moment, you can use same live link and you can just go back. You can just go back at this moment or whatever the time you just want to choose, you can. Fourth one, if the future date is supplied for student dot acquired, the validation error message must be only past date is allowed. Past date is allowed, not data, it is date is allowed. Okay. If a future date, so future date, if the future date is allowed, we should throw error message. That means past only allowed, right? So go to student.java, acquired. So come here, at the rate past. So only past dates are allowed. And we need to add a message also, double quotes. Whatever there here, even it is there is spelling mistakes also, don't bother. You don't change data to date and all. We'll see in the test cases part. I think as it is, we developed this project for the own test cases. Maybe there will be errors and all, but just copy paste directly. Let us all copy paste along with the documents. Let's remove all this. I think we can copy paste from the previous line. I think dot is also there, right? Okay. I think in the task they mentioned dot. Okay. Okay. So let us not put that dot. We'll see whether test case will be passed or failed or not. Just write only past data is allowed. Actually date, but they mentioned data. That's okay. No problem. Leave it. Leave it. I mean, my point is like whatever they given in the task, please copy paste. Student dot fee amount must only accept 3 max integral digits and 2 max fractional digits. So student dot fee amount. For this purpose, we need to take digits and fractional integer. Integral means 3. Fractional means 2. Right. Let me repeat again. I'll check again once again. Not null is done. Faculty ratio done. Okay. Once you're done with the task, hint, do not add any additional data validations to any fields, as they may prevent you from working, as they prevent your work from getting marked. Check your work, perform the example dot colleges dot validation module to validate your run your JUnit test case. Okay. Right. So let us all go to JUnit test case. It will be there in the src/test.java, com.redhat.colleges. Go to, so right click on this, run as JUnit test. A separate window will be like this. Okay. So luckily we just got all the test cases passed. So like this you need to do for, I think one important point is like dot is not there. Okay. Dot and data, the spelling is data only. Okay. Don't change. This is only for practice purpose and all. So like this 5 test cases. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for example, second task is security. After completion of security, there will be in the same project, in the same package, there will be security test.java, run it. And query plus mapping will be given in the one task only. That is the third test case. And the fourth test case is REST API. Total 4 test cases will be there in the project 1 and 3 test cases will be there in the project 2. Okay. Right. Fine. With this, the today's task class is, I can wind up like we just discussed 2 projects and then number of tasks, and we've done with JMS task and all. The JMS continuation task will be dependency injection. I think it is done in yesterday's class. Okay. So tomorrow is complete offline. Like practice every task and ensure that you're typing everything through suggestions only. Don't do any hard coding and don't blindly don't by heart all the annotations and all because it's a task-based exam. It is not MCQs. All the very best and have a nice day, guys. Thank you so much.